Second last crypto related story. This one is about NFTs, and this makes a lot of sense to me. Comic books, DC Comics reportedly eyeing the NFT market. Something kind of struck me here. I was thinking about memorabilia, art, NFTs, collectibles, sports cards, etc., etc., etc. You think about the fandom around comic books?
Yeah.
No?
Big.
No?
For sure. Big.
You're in on it?
Yeah.
You're into it?
Uh-huh.
You have so much, what do they call it? IP? There's these characters and variety of circumstances and first issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, aren't there some big numbers over here?
Yeah, I think...
I mean, aren't we talking about, do we have any $1 million comic books? We must. 3.2 milli, right there. A pristine copy of a 1938 comic book is incredible. All right, so what is the digital effect over here? What goes on? Okay, yeah, you got to figure out the NFT thing. The NBA did it. Everybody did it. And you can imagine if I'm DC or if I'm Marvel, I got to be thinking about it. Mm-hmm. How to do this, because you can also, you know how this goes with the hype and whatnot. You sell more movie tickets and all the rest of it. It's all part of it. So they apparently are looking into it. They apparently are interested. But then another piece that stood out to me was who gets to do it. So it creates a really complicated scenario for them to try to police, because they have all kinds of artists who have worked on licensed material that could think, hey, my artwork could be cool as an NFT. But then DC is like, wait a sec. That's our IP. Mm-hmm. And now it's a separate transaction from the original contract or whatever. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not privy to what those contracts work, but the letter serves as a warning to, they put out a letter to DC staffers and freelancers about issuing NFTs, non-fungible tokens, bearing the likeness of the company's licensed characters. Comic book artist Jose Delgo was involved in the creation and sale of a Wonder Woman themed NFT collection that netted $1.85 million last week. You see how weirdly squirrely that gets?
Yeah.
Who does that belong to? There's no, I assume that the paperwork that was originally drawn up between these artists and DC or Marvel or whoever else wouldn't necessarily have included the potential for NFTs. Mm-hmm. Here's the quote from DC. As DC examines the complexities of the NFT marketplace, and we work on a reasonable and fair solution for all parties involved, that means we got to get a cut.
Yeah.
Including fans and collectors. Please note that the offering for sale of any digital images featuring DC's intellectual property, that's that IP thing I was talking about before, also known as intellectual property, with or without NFTs, whether rendered for DC's publications or rendered outside the scope of one's contractual agreement with DC, meaning even the stuff you just chose to do with those characters, is not permitted. Mm-hmm. If you are approached by anyone interested in including any of your DC art in an NFT program, please let Lawrence Gannam, DC's VP Talent Services, know. In other words, we want to have a quick chat about that. All this Wonder Woman stuff. What you trying to do with Batman right now? All those Batman tokens, Willie, you got on your hard drive, you ready to go up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you better be careful.
Yeah. I got to talk to DC.
Yeah, you better be sending an email.
At least they're lawyers.
And you better be giving them a piece. Like, I got all this Batman content. They're like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. We have the Batman content. You have nothing. We are DC.
Yeah.
You're thinking.
How does it work like on physical copies?
Physical copy of what?
Like if an artist makes like a portrait of Batman or something.
Yep.
And he doesn't work for DC.
Yep.
How does that work? And he sells it. Can't do that.
No dice.
Oh. You gotta give a portion to DC?
I presume that's actually kind of interesting. You're saying a one-off? Because obviously if you're going to license it, like you have a licensing deal. You say, I want to use your character to sell t-shirts. And they go, okay, cool. Here's a licensing deal. We're going to get a piece.
Yeah.
I think they wouldn't care if it's a low enough volume.
Sure.
Right? Like if you're at the farmer's market selling a Batman painting, no one cares. Mm-hmm. all of a sudden you got NFTs on blast and you're pulling millions, they want to have a phone
Yeah,
call
they'll take notice.
or an email, at which point then they're going to demand a licensing agreement to continue doing what you're doing.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
A lot of gray area.